Hello, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Senta.
And we are sisters. Today we're actually going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about some BTS stuff we recently purchased. We fell down the BTS rabbit hole, but also we're going to do a quick review of the BTS movie Bring the Soul.
I don't know we can call it a review.
No, not really a review.
More of like impressions?
Impressions, yes. Not really a review because we really liked it. So that's...
Also, it's like honestly, I just remember snatches.
Yeah. It's not a plot-driven film. It's
like
it's more documentary.
Here's something I learned. Here's something I saw.
Exactly. So it won't be real much of a review as, commentary?
Yeah.
Commentary. Okay, but
Stuff we noticed.
Stuff we noticed. But before we talk about that, as I mentioned, we have started acquiring BTS stuff. I actually acquired a BTS Uno set, which I did box opening thing, and if you want to see it, it's somewhere else on this YouTube channel. Feel free to look at that. But that was our small purchase. We've also since made several large purchases.
Now we're just take my money, please.
Yes. Take all our money.
It really all started the day we went to see the movie.
Yes.
Because I was like, wait a second, we should listen to BTS on the way to the movie theater.
Yes.
Because it wasn't close to our house. And then I was like, wait a second, I'm going to need a CD.
Yes.
To play in my car, because that's all my car takes.
We have an old car.
CD and radio. Well, that's what we have.
That's what we got.
No plug-in.
No, that's too fancy for us.
iPhone or something like that.
Yeah.
So then I was like, where can I get a CD? Fortunately, there was a bookstore. I went to a real bookstore that sell CDs. First, I called them from like the grocery store. I was like, do you have BTS? And then they did. So I went in to get this. I think I was going to get Love Yourself. Mm-hmm. No, I was going to get Map of the Soul Persona is what I was going to get. Mm-hmm. And then it turned out, I went to snatch it off the shelf, I saw that they had Love Yourself. And so I got that too.
Yeah.
And so we played them all the way to the movie theaters. And I would like to say that I think that I made the right decision in buying it at that moment because I got RM's photo card.
And she likes RM.
In Map of the Soul Persona. And then my only problem, I don't really have a review of these except for they're fantastic in the car. And I can't believe this is in a white case because, as we have a saying, we're not the kind of women who can wear white pants. Because we see people wearing white and we're like, how are you not covering that in pen, food? We don't know.
Random dirt.
So I am keeping my CDs basically in a Ziploc bag because I don't trust myself not to mess them up. But other than that, that's
Know
great.
yourself is the key to life.
So I got Love Yourself and Map of the Soul Persona and have enjoyed both in the car. And then I also ordered the Love Yourself concert series, which is what you see them making in the movie that we saw.
Yeah.
So cool. We got the New York one because that's all that was available. And I assume that's fine as the Europe one.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we've been enjoying that as well. We haven't fully gotten through that. Because we like to say we have lives. We don't. But we've just been watching other BTS stuff.
Yes, and also I want to clarify that we have listened to BTS music outside of these purchases.
Yes.
Streaming, I also own some of it digitally, but we just decided we also needed to own it physically.
I just haven't seen hardly any music videos, which I'm like, how is this possible?
Yes.
And I've seen a bunch of random content.
Yes.
But for music, I have really gotten into, I guess a bunch of the stuff might be on Dark and Wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
And guess what I bought? Dark and Wild.
A little of the hard-hitting stuff.
Yes.
I've really gotten into that recently.
Yeah, so I bought Dark and Wild. Then I also bought School Love Affair as well. I love how these, for the cost, you really get a lot with it. It's weighty, it has a full book, there's photo cards, I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. And then I also bought Happy Ever After, which is the DVD of their fourth muster, so not this year's.
And I think it should be said that we have definitely ordered the, what's it called?
The summer
package.
Summer package.
We're all in.
We're ready.
We're ready.
We're ready. And
again,
also,
take my money, please.
Yes, and also can I add that when I went to buy these on Amazon, I meant to buy one thing, and then I entered some sort of fugue state and bought 3 things. And Senta asked me later, what did you buy? And I said, I'm not even sure anymore.
She's like, we'll just have to see when it comes.
We'll see when it comes. I just started pressing things. The fact that I don't own every album at this point is kind of amazing to me.
I know. Well, the thing is, because I did go on Amazon after you, I was like, what did we get? But there's a bunch of random stuff, but there's so much stuff. I'm like, I don't understand what's what.
Yeah.
I feel like I need somebody maybe made a huge list of everything that's
someone
available,
has.
and we should just print that out and then start crossing things off.
That we've got.
Also, maybe save some of our money.
For...
and who knows what this new zip thing is. And
Yeah,
we're still
or the Bring the Soul documentary coming. How much is that going to cost? Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know.
And we still have to pay for V Live eventually to see that Wembley was the first night that we did not. We have a lot of stuff.
We have a lot of stuff. And the Soul,
Anyways,
this summer's muster.
You don't need to hear about how much money we're spending.
Yes.
I'm sure you're doing the same.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is news to you. This is not news to you.
But you know what I think? You know what?
What?
Here's what I thought.
What?
I was like, sure, I could watch their videos, or not even their videos. I've been like playing at the gym. I'm just working out to BTS exclusively now. Sure, I could just play just the music through YouTube, but I need to support them financially.
Yeah.
Because I need them to do well.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving me so much, I should give back to them. And then also I'm like, oh my God, let me snatch it up while I can, because now I'm become very concerned about this military situation. And I'm like, oh my God, have I just found something I love and then I'm going to lose it? Grab it all.
Exactly.
So get the hard copies while I can, and before they become impossible. And I'm very worried, but I'm sure everybody else is too.
Yeah, exactly. So, in other words, we are acquiring BTS merch. Like, I don't know what. Like, I don't know what. It's a lot.
Collector's items.
Collector's items. But we really enjoy them. We've really enjoyed watching them. We're working our way through the DVDs, working our way through all the albums. So, yeah, that's the news on the merch. And now going back to the movie.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the movie.
Well, I enjoyed the movie.
Yes.
I think it should be said quite a few people came in late.
Very
Just
annoying.
after it was starting, and I was thinking, this is appointment, not television. This is an appointment thing. Like, we were like, get there early.
Yeah, we were there early.
We're perennially 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
That's just how we run.
That's just how we roll.
But we were like, early enough to go to the bathroom, help an old lady buy movie tickets for some other thing because she couldn't figure out the machine. Like,
sit down and then have time in our seats.
Yeah. And then we're like, yay, we made it. And then it goes dark.
Yeah.
And then, some people were hustling in.
Yeah.
And we're like, girls, you made it! Congratulations! And they're like, ah! And then that Jimin comes on for the trailer for the documentary.
Yeah.
Somebody let out a squeal so loud.
Oh, so loud.
Everybody in the audience just started laughing. We're so happy.
Yeah.
So then it started, and then a bunch of people came in late, and I was like, how'd this happen?
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah.
I was
a bunch
like,
of people. Like a group
happy
together.
they made it in.
Yeah.
And I have to say, we saw it in Baldwin Hills, and I guess it was packed other places, but
Yeah.
there were still some seats available, so.
Yeah.
Anywho, I feel like people should know that there are other theaters they can go see it at if they're, not anymore, but like really look around. If you're trying to get these things, go out of your way.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people didn't want to go to Baldwin Hills, but that's another issue.
That's a whole other issue we won't go into right now. What I enjoyed, though, also was the feeling in the theater. I was wondering if people would make noise or squeal.
Yeah.
And people did occasionally. And then did they start a chant?
Oh, yeah,
They
when it
the
started,
fan chant.
they did the fan chant.
They did the fan chant. And also, when we were going to the bathroom before the theater, just as I was coming out of the stall and washing my hands, I saw a woman who had a BT21 headband on. I can't remember what character.
There was a couple of people who had some.
And I said, exactly. I said to her, nice headband. That made sense. And then I yelled at her, BTS!
Like, I'm in the bathroom, BTS! Wash your hands.
And then she started laughing because I don't know how you react to somebody yelling BTS at you and agreed with me, BTS, and then I went away because that was embarrassing. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the movie.
You
know, I'm trying to think of what's coming to mind. You know what's really coming to mind?
What?
This was what I thought was hilarious.
What?
So Jungkook, I'm trying to get the G in there. Apparently picks up everything nonstop and tries to work it out. So, like, he was trying to work out with some water bottles. They're walking to the plane and he's holding his luggage and he's, like, doing arm lifts with it. I was like, dude's trying to get ripped. Which I thought that was amazing, to see those little details.
Yeah.
I left the theater hungry because they ate a lot in the movie.
Yes.
And frankly, I was like, I want everything they were eating. Some of it was Korean food. Some of it they were eating in Paris.
Oh, yeah.
But they just make eating look so good.
I so enjoy it.
And some of them have some very interesting ways of chewing. But the chewing really looks enjoyable. Like,
Exactly.
There's some really vigorous chewing. You're like, they're enjoying that food.
Yeah.
I do have a list of Korean foods that I am currently keeping based on things I've heard around BTS.
Yeah.
Because we're in LA, so we have Koreatown, so we're gonna go there, and we're actually gonna take some friends of ours there, and their kids as well.
Yeah. And something that sticks with me I loved when they were in the Paris, they talked about J-Hope. I'm your hope.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and they're like, are you going to tell your baby when it's born? You know, how I love that. And You're right. It was a lot of little moments that stuck for me.
I really enjoyed seeing, whenever they're going underneath the stage, they sometimes they're just crouching down, like, on the platform, like, just waiting, like, and then sometimes they sit on a thing that gets pulled, like a little miniature ride, like little seats built onto it, and they get pulled under the stage, and I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. And I also thought that moment when they're, like, crouching there and listening to whoever's before, whatever it is, you know, it just reminded me of all those times, like, if you're backstage someplace and you're just like, okay, we're about to do this. And also, of course, they got so emotional when they thought they messed up at different points. And I have to say, too, you know what, after seeing it, I was like, good God, let them rest. So then when they were, like, then when Big Hit's, like, they're going on, like, a 2-month break, where I was like, I thought to myself, because we know that they just screened the film themselves, I was like, did they watch this film their own selves, and then we're like, you know what, we need a rest. This is outrageous. Did you just watch what I just watched? Let's have a rest. I know. Because that's what I felt after seeing it. I felt like, because, I mean, obviously, any tour, and they're such vigorous dancers, you could expect things like injuries, even though, I mean, obviously, Jungkook hurt his foot backstage. In a freak accident. But they get so upset about being under the weather and all kinds of stuff like this, and they're pushing themselves so hard, and you have to expect that it takes a whole lot of you. But man, I mean, I really don't know how they keep it going.
I knew they worked hard, but after this movie, I know they work hard. Like, I mean, you really understood how much they care about every aspect of it. I love seeing J-Hope being like, after the very first concert they show us in Seoul, I guess the opening concert for this tour, how he was like, don't slip on this, don't slip on that. Like, let's get our details correct. And they all agree.
Yeah, like giving notes to make it better. So that
they can make it better. I mean, I felt it the first time I saw the show. I think you felt it when you saw them perform live, how much they care. Yeah. How much they care about every detail. How much they care about costumes. How much they care about how their voices sound. How much they care about, are their dances good? Are they as good as they could be? Could they be better? How much they care about the energy they're giving out to the audience. How much they care about talking to the audience. I kind of knew this. If you've seen them perform live, you know this. But the movie really brought it home to me.
Yeah. But I will have to say about costumes, and now that I have Love Yourself, I have to say, I have a lot of cues about these costumes. I'm like, I call this white smock thing the Pagliacci outfit, which is, Pagliacci is an opera if you don't know. But I swear to God, it's like classic kind of, what's that? Is it Harlequin type?
Yeah, Harlequin type.
Yeah, Harlequin type shirt. And I'm like, I have a lot of questions about it. There's a lot of, like, it seems like feather, glitters, flowy, satiny things going on. And I was like, sort of like, I don't know, like, because especially maybe because I've been getting into more of their hard-hitting songs, too. I was like, I have a lot of questions about the timing that they're kind of becoming big in America, and if people think, oh, K-pop sort of like, because I thought, well, it's K-pop, and, because when Stephie showed me that more kind of sensual...
Oh, yeah, blood, sweat, and tears.
And I was sort of like, ooh, really? For K-pop? I thought it was, very sensual for that. But, like, now that I'm listening to some of their harder stuff, I'm like, oh my God, there's all this stuff in a really hip-hop, more heavy things. Like, the costumes that they wore in Love Yourself, I'm like, how does that fit in? And then I'm also wondering how that's impacting their perception in America in terms of what their music is. And, of course, the fact that they're hitting it where their message is kind of was Love Yourself, and so maybe it's a little lighter message. And then Mappa's full persona... I don't know, maybe the songs are a little later on there. So, but I do think some of the costumes in that we saw in the movie, I was like, what? I mean, it really changed, because some of these songs, you could sing them wearing, like, street clothes or more normal clothes, and I think they would have a little bit more of an edge and a little more sexiness than if everybody's wearing satin blowing in the wind. And I mean, I feel like, let's keep the edge and let's keep the sexy, right? You know what I'm saying?
I see your point.
It's a whole other thing.
Satin blowing in the wind.
It's a lot of sequin.
See, I like a lot of sequin. I'll be honest with you. I like a lot of sequin.
It was a little escapades for me.
Yeah, I will say some of the satin took a step too far, and I love a costume. I love a stage costume.
Also, you really can't, I mean, they look swamped in their clothes.
They did look very large on them, which is, they're also skinny and fit. It is a little odd. They're wearing these massive tents.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, let's keep the edge and keep the sexy.
Yeah. Yes, I think no one can argue with us about keeping the sexy.
Let's do it.
But we are very much enjoying watching the DVDs because, and I'm actually really glad we got that, actually, because in the movie we see a few full performances, maybe very few though. A lot of it we see clips.
Yeah.
And then we see them talking or backstage or under the stage, which is great. I'm glad we saw that. But now with having Love Yourself New York, we actually get to see full performances that are just referenced or shown briefly in the film. And that was the one thing I missed after the movie ended. I mean, I knew they had no time for it, but I was like, oh, I want to see that whole thing. And now I can see the whole thing. So I'm so glad we got that DVD. Yeah. It's like filling in the gaps.
And I'm just thinking, for some reason what came to mind is when in the movie when V comes late to the dinner and he comes in all like with a beret and like a long coat, he's been enjoying Paris. I'm like, I hope that they do. I know they have very little time, and it seemed like they just kept getting on chartered flights. So I was very impressed. But it turns out, I mean, they have 6 million people with them.
Yeah.
They're 7 to start with.
Yeah.
And then they have all their management and all these people from, I guess it makes sense, but they're just constantly in this thing flying from place to place on like a chartered jet, just like sacked out.
Yeah.
And Jin is holding his stuffed animal.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Which every time that got shown, everybody's like, ah!
In the theater.
It was a very interactive experience.
Yeah, holding RJ.
In the theater. There was a lot of like squeals.
Yeah.
Awes.
I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed
clapping.
That. I like an interactive audience though, even in a movie. I like an interactive audience.
Especially for an event film. In terms of feeling like something different's happening. Now, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, for a normal film, I do not like it. Like when people get like one funny comment. One like, comment. Girl, don't go in there.
That's it.
Maybe.
That's it.
But then I don't need to hear your comments the whole movie.
No, agreed.
But this one, it was sort of like, just let you know that everybody's on the same page. And just like, yay!
Yeah, and we're all really excited. So, do you have anything more to add about the film? Well, if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go see it. I mean, it'll be available on DVD at some point.
However you can see it.
No, I mean, it will be available on DVD at some point. I guarantee you. I mean,
also, like, I'm very interested to see how this is going to be different than the documentary footage.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually really curious.
Like, where'd you leave out the good stuff?
I know.
The film or the documentary?
I know. Or is the documentary, like the film, if it were 4 hours long?
Oh, like the director's cut broken up.
So I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. We won't know till we obviously watch it the day it comes out.
I do think the interesting thing is the more you watch just bits of them interacting, you get so much personality from different...
Yes.
There's little quirks that everybody has that you're just like, when you see that. And I think that's really interesting to see, especially 7 men interacting in a very close fashion again and again. And also, like, the support that they have and stuff. Because, like, I guess guys don't really show that side. A lot of them... And a lot of times when we see films, when people are showing their softer side or their caretaking side, it's in a romantic relationship. And it's also it's a narrative, and it's also usually told from a man's point of view in terms of he was the director, he was the writer, blah, blah, blah. And so they're showing an idea of caretaking, basically, and a lot of times it's through the male lens. But in the documentary setting and showing it caretaking between men, I think, and also the relationship of a bunch of close men, it's very interesting, especially too because like you might be more used to seeing that in a traditional family or something like that, but you don't necessarily see a bunch of people who just came together for a common goal and are there to support each other. And honestly, I'm sure if they have huge blow-ups, they're not going to put them all on the screen because they want to project a certain image, but it's interesting. You know, I feel like they might have a really great communication style going. And
By now, at least.
And I think that's interesting. And I also think, too, a lot of times we see reality shows or stuff and it's people interacting, it's adversarial.
Oh, yeah, competitive.
And competitive.
Yeah.
And so, even the Run BTS couple episodes I've seen, I haven't seen very many, but the ones that I've seen, you know, they're competing, but like in good fun. It's not like cutthroat, and it's not like a Real Housewives type of stuff where it's catty and stuff like this. So it's really interesting to see kind of relationships play out in a documentary setting that's not like a lot of times documentaries are about like tragic or dramatic things or conflict or just purely a biographical kind of one person, but to basically see sort of the lives of 7 people interacting is really interesting in terms of just like a human behavior standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I hadn't thought about that.
So I feel like I just got super nerdy, but on that, but I'm like sociologically, this is very interesting.
That's how a film degree working. But anyway, I actually agree with you. I hadn't thought of that, but I actually agree. I think that's one reason why we find perhaps the movie charming, but also find them interesting to watch in their interactions with each other.
Yeah, it's like a window in, especially for women trying to like figure men out. You're like, it's like really heartening.
Yes.
Because again, we don't get to see a lot of these sides of men they don't show it to us, sadly. It's like, I don't even think they realize how attractive
It's very
it
attractive.
would be to show some of these aspects of
The personalities.
their personality.
Which I know they have. They still show it.
But and then again too, because they're Korean, they have a slightly different way of interacting than American men. That's a little closer. You're like, oh, it's so refreshing.
It is refreshing.
It feels like, I feel like the gap between men and women is being narrowed by being able to watch a bunch of men interact closely.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Versus like, what are there men over there? What are they doing? You know what I'm saying? You're like, this whole kind of like,
Not your internal dialogue.
it's like, it's a bush is
monologue.
like, I can't figure them out. Yeah, that's my whole life.
It's
Like,
your whole
what
life.
is this?
What's happening?
What's happening? Does he like me?
No. Oh my god, that is your turn.
That's everybody's turn. Like, and I think men have the same point
thing
of
for
view.
women, yeah.
Which is, you know what? I wish we could have like the same thing for men to be able to watch a group of women interacting as women, non-competitively, like with common goals, just living their life as well, so they could see what we're like, not being sexy presentationally. And of course, like the guys, they have an image, and sometimes they push their sexuality in their songs and stuff like that. But their whole life isn't about being sexuality. They're goofy. They're whatever. They're whatever they are when they're with each other. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be helpful to have kind of that. Like, what are you gonna learn from Love Island? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you might learn something about relationships, but a lot of it's people being like, "Ooh, I'm sexy" and whatever.
Oh, and also again, competitive.
Competitive. But we need to see more of just people being people, probably with same sex, so the other sex can be like, oh, okay, I get something I didn't get before about how women talk or men talk or how they interact, or I just get to observe.
Yeah.
Without anything on it.
Without a whole lot of, weird rules or competitiveness or conflict pasted on top of it.
Yeah, even though it's edited.
Yes. I mean, obviously, we're not saying it's not edited.
Just watching behavior, you can see a bunch of behavior. Like RM really doesn't like to get too emotional.
Yeah.
And he'll either like he lets off emotional steam a lot of time by like, ha ha! Like he'll do like a big laugh like this or squint his face up or like that. Mm-hmm. Or he'll do like, right? And like
holding it in.
Or he'll sort of look super gangster for a second, like, like, you know what I'm saying? So those little quirks to see how that works, but other people, like, VO has these confused faces that
they're the best.
V's faces,
the best.
Reaction faces are just they're making my life right now. That watching him eat and that chewing the gum thing he does, and you're like, you're not chewing gum.
Yeah, we did this on stage where he's dancing around and chewing gum for some reason. Whenever he's really feeling himself, whenever he's really like, I'm in the moment.
I'm into it.
I'm into it.
But just watching these quirks, I think, are super interesting, and I think that's what we're getting sucked into, like a whole world.
A whole world where you must consume literally everything because you want to see everything. I don't want to miss anything. That's the thing. I don't want to miss one of these small little moments that show personality or show interaction or show relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And you know what? The other thing I was thinking a lot about is their dedication to what they're doing, and in terms of my own life. And I've been using them to go to the gym, as I said, for the music. But then also when I'm trying to get up in the morning, because they're always like, I have something coming, or we're working hard on this show, so please look forward to it, or whatever. So literally when I'm lying in bed and like trying to wake up, I picture my life better, and I'm like, please look forward to it, and I open these eyes, and I go, waiting, that fighting thing they say, waiting.
Yeah.
And I pretend like I'm the 8th member of BTS, and I'm trying to be as committed as they are to their endeavors. I'm trying to be like, show that commitment to myself, and like, been going to the gym in the morning, like, you wanted to go to the gym. If you are BTS, if you're the 8th member, you have to go to the gym. You better work out so you can do those routines. Yeah. So it's really interesting watching them. They're so committed to it, and they're so committed to how their messaging can help other people in their life. And that's, I mean, the things I want to do in my own life, I want to do to not just to further my own life, but to bring good things to other people's lives. So I have to be like, to see that in action, to see what it looks like when people actually become focused on their consumers, not just as consumers, but to really actively, so much their mission seems to be right now to give something back to people so that they have something to hold on to. And the fact that whatever your work is, it's so much more fulfilling if you do find something besides just like, I'm just going to get that paycheck.
Yeah.
But to have like, how can it better the world and better the lives of others? And
It makes a difference, I think.
Yeah.
The motivation behind things makes a difference. That I think we, as people who then quote unquote consume it, we can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Between, a song that you put out there because just like I hope people pay money for it, and a song you put out there because you want people to hear the message, you put your heart and soul into it, you put your work into it, and you want to communicate with the people listening to it.
And even if it's just, not even like their love yourself messages and all kinds of stuff, but the things, even just on a pure entertainment standpoint, the fact that art is so healing, and we really believe this a lot, is what our mother always said, art is, it's what makes us human. It's how we tell our stories. It's like, and we use art and music especially to lift us out in a bad time, or movies, TV.
Theater.
Yeah. So the idea that they understand so much the power of what they're doing in that way, and are just basically like, use me, as RM said. That literally put it in words. He's like, in case it's not clear to you.
Yeah.
We're not only okay, we're encouraging it, and we're saying straight up, if you need a rope to hold on to pull yourself out of hell, just grab this music and start pulling.
Exactly. Use it hand over hand.
Yeah.
And I've also been using it. I'm trying to, just very beginning, like I've watched an intro course. I'm trying to learn how to use Logic Pro, which is a music software that you produce music with. And I find it a little overwhelming. I literally just watched like the 10-minute intro. And I'm like, this is not my area. But I tell myself, you know what? They all had to learn how to produce music themselves too. I mean, they didn't start knowing how to produce music. I mean, and they learned how. And look at this amazing music they produced. And I may not be producing that level of music, but if I learn how, I will be able to do something. But I won't be able to do anything until I start and learn and put the work in. On something that I find, quite frankly, a little overwhelming and a little confusing.
Yes.
Tech is not my area, per se.
You just have to pretend you're the 9th member of BTS.
Exactly, the 9th
and you have to get these songs done before break is over.
Exactly.
That's the other thing. Because like they're on break, I'm like, what are my goals before I come back from break as the 8th member of BTS?
Exactly.
Why do I always have this fantasy of joining a boy band?